If you're an adult reading this and can't remember the last time you thought about zinc, you're not alone. And that might be a tiny, silent problem walking around with you. Zinc doesn't have the charisma of vitamin C, the Instagram stardom of magnesium, or the trendy following of adaptogens. It just sits quietly, running hundreds of enzyme reactions in your body, building your immune system, helping wounds heal, keeping your sense of taste alive, and making sure your cells don't fall apart into microscopic chaos. Underappreciated? Definitely. Essential? More than you realize. And here's the kicker. Zinc deficiency is surprisingly common, even among adults who think they eat pretty healthy. You might imagine zinc deficiency as something that only happens to people in extreme malnourishment situations or in textbooks from the 1800s. But mild deficiency is sneakier and far more widespread, especially in the elderly, vegetarians, people with chronic gut conditions, or anyone who's been best friends with antacids or alcohol for a few too many years. You could be walking around with slightly impaired immunity, thinning hair, frequent colds, bad skin, poor wound healing, or a suddenly weird relationship with food. Zinc influences taste and smell, and chalk it all up to aging, stress, or bad luck, when the real culprit might be a humble mineral your body's been politely asking for. Let's talk about older adults. Aging bodies are like vintage cars. They may look classy, but their systems can start running a little less efficiently. Zinc absorption gets worse as we age, and diets often get simpler or smaller. Think toast, soup, and whatever's easiest to chew, while needs actually stay the same. The result? An entire generation of people walking around mildly zinc-depleted, thinking that they're just slowing down when their immune systems are actually sending out tiny SOS signals from inside. And vegetarians? Oh yes, we see you with your quinoa bowls and nut loaves and avocado everything. Love the fiber. Love the ethics. But here's the twist. While plants contain zinc, they also come with something called phytates, natural compounds that bind zinc and make it harder to absorb. So you might be eating a technically zinc-containing diet and still not getting enough of the bioavailable stuff. Ironically, the healthier you try to eat, the more your zinc might be slipping through the cracks. Add in the gut crowd, people with IBS, celiac, Crohn's, chronic diarrhea, and now we're really talking. These folks often have damaged intestinal linings or inflammation that interferes with zinc uptake. Then there's alcohol, which not only impairs absorption but increases excretion. Yes, that nightly glass of wine might be relaxing, but it could also be escorting your precious zinc straight out of the building like an unwanted party guest. And let's not forget the heartburn meds. Proton pump inhibitors and antacids? Bless them for the reflux, but curse them for what they do to mineral absorption. You might be putting out fires in your esophagus while quietly creating a mineral desert down below. The good news? Zinc is ridiculously easy to fix once you spot the problem. It's like discovering the leak in your roof was just a missing shingle, not a whole structural collapse. A few dietary tweaks, oysters, pumpkin seeds, beef, chickpeas, fortified cereals, or a sensible supplement, and people often report sharper mental clarity, fewer colds, stronger nails, or even improved libido. Yes, zinc plays a role in testosterone production and reproductive health, which is probably the only thing that ever gave it a brief media moment outside the supplement aisle. But maybe the best part of zinc awareness is how empowering it is. We tend to think health problems must be complicated or mysterious. But sometimes you just need a little more of one unsung mineral that's been sitting on the sidelines while your body runs the game. Getting enough zinc isn't glamorous, but it's surprisingly transformative. Think of it like hiring a great behind-the-scenes producer for your biological movie. Everything suddenly works better and nobody knows why, except you, and you're happy. Enzyme-rich cells. So the next time you're trying to solve the mystery of why you're tired, sniffly, or why your taste buds are rebelling, remember, it might not be burnout. It might just be zinc trying to get a word in.